Well, as you can see, I've added a few trees and a few other accessories. Still playing around with the background back there. But if you take a look and you get down on the elevation, it looks a little bit more interesting. As the trains come around, it should be real nice once this is covered in a nighttime scene. And again, I've moved on and started to finish out the other side. I'm not sure if you can see any detail in here as the coloring is all snowy white. But I've started to cover the new layout with the standard gauge, and these inside ones in here are going to be two fixed tracks of O gauge with a couple of accessories on them. Experimenting again with a little rise in the background, making a rock formation which will go across the whole side there, and we'll see how that expands. But I thought I'd get a little detailed in here. Is in doing these, I've made strips that I'll cover this area up in here, and I'll wet them with the sprayer. I've found that to be the easiest and most controlling as to dipping and hanging them and dripping all over the place. And I've been able to do that pretty well. They suggest a seam that's butted, which I've tried here, but as you can see, you end up with a slight bit of a gap. If you're going to cover it with a roadbed, then you don't really need to worry about having seams and things like that, because it'll all smoothen out. And I'm going to end up ballasting the standard gauge also. I'm trying to quiet it down, as standard gauge is a rather loud toy train. But as you can see, I've put down the blue foam. It's glued on there real tight. I've also made some super elevation around the curves. Four-wheel standard trains, if they go a little bit quick, they would have a tendency to flip and flop. This will just kind of eliminate some of that and put a little dimension in. Coming around, this will be in a tunnel area back in there, and come around towards the front, and I'll have a couple other accessories, and this will be a lot more scenic and landscaped. But I'll give you a little bit more insight. I'll show some in the video here of applying and cutting, and a little bit on how we're doing that.